Hello, welcome to Inside Politics. Today we are here in Islamabad in Pakistan. A News is going to have an exclusive interview with His Excellency Sahibzada Sultan Ahmed Ali Sahib, Chairman, Muslim Institute. Warm welcome to our program.
Thank you very much. Very warm welcome to Pakistan.
Thank you very much. Previously we had an experience of talking with you in Baku, and this time it's a unique opportunity being here in Islamabad to ask several questions about bilateral cooperation, the domestic issues, the regional issues, security, and etc. So let's use this opportunity. Let me start with one important news we read about. The Prime Minister of Pakistan is coming to Azerbaijan, and during that visit, most probably very important documents to be signed by two sides. As an example, agreements in various sectors which will worth $2 billion for investment in Pakistan. It will cover economy, energy, and renewable sectors. So the first question, why do you think it's important and how it may benefit the bilateral cooperation?
Thank you very much. I think that since our bilateral relations started since the independence of Azerbaijan, if you see through the graphs, we are improving every year. Although previously the speed was not so much fast, but the good thing was we were improving every year. We were improving in the economy, in the trade, in so many things. But since last 2-3 years, I think that speed has become more faster of our bilateral relations, especially in economic terms, in terms of investments, in terms of so many things like investment coming from Azerbaijan to Pakistan and other purchases as we discussed previously. And I think this visit will be very constructive between two states. And Prime Minister have been to Baku during the COP29, but as you know, that was a very specific event. But this time it is purely for the economic betterment of bilateral relations. And Pakistan has huge potential, and also Azerbaijan has huge potential to invest in Pakistan, especially in the energy sector, in the infrastructure, in the renewable energy, in the defense cooperation. So I think this will be a very good sign for our ever-growing economic ties.
You mentioned defense cooperation, and I guess when we hear about bilateral cooperation between two countries, defense is among the top priorities for two sides. But in my understanding, this bilateral cooperation benefits not only two countries, but two regions from the security perspectives, counting terrorism, and many other aspects. So where do you see the perspective for the future partnership, in particular in defense sphere, and how more in details it benefits two regions?
Maybe unfortunately, the situation in South Asia is very fragile, as if you look around the South Asian countries, a lot of changes, political changes taking place there, and especially there is a nuclear flashpoint, which is the issue of Kashmir. And because of issue of Kashmir and some other issues in the South Asia, the situation in South Asia is quite fragile. And the same, I think, security situation or the similar was in Caucasus region. And I think that as Pakistan is a responsible country in the South Asian region and very responsible, especially if you look at the history and Pakistan's strategies always supported peace in the region and always spoke about the legal resolution of the issue of Jammu and Kashmir according to the will and wishes of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And the aggressive side was very dangerous, and they were taking very unexpected and very inhumane steps. So that made this region very fragile, and the same was done in Caucasus region by some forces, and they were making situation quite fragile. And still they have, what I can read through some of the very detailed papers and some of the news coming from Caucasus region, that many people are interested in making more trouble, especially in security terms. So I think that being good partners since beginning, Pakistan and Azerbaijan, and being responsible states and being peace-seeking and peace-supporting two nations, so it is very good to learn from each other's experiences and to cooperate more in the defense economy as well. And I think that as in infrastructure, energy, renewable energy, we have also huge potential in the defense cooperation. And previously we have very good history of that.
Recently, we had a chance to participate in a very important event held in Karachi. Among 2025, the exercises which brought together as a representative from 60 countries. And if I'm not mistaken, every 2 years, Pakistan is organizing this event, bringing together the experts from military sphere all around the globe. That's why sometimes Pakistan is being considered as an important state for sustaining peace and stability in the region. But at the same time, we do know that the world is changing. There are new policymakers, new ideas, and we do know about new foreign policy strategy initiated by 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, which definitely affect not only Europe, United States itself, but also the Middle East, the Central Asia, the Asia itself. Therefore, do you feel that now Pakistan should somehow change its approach to some foreign policy issues to adapt for its new reality? I may ask you briefly comment on the importance of that exercises which was held in Karachi, and then slightly to the second part of my question.
Well, Pakistan actually organizing this Aman exercises, military exercises are very important, especially in context of our maritime security. And as you mentioned, people from more than 60 countries are participating, and Chinese representatives will be there as well, and the delegation from Azerbaijan will be there, and from Turkey will be there, and from many other countries. And that shows Pakistan's will and wish to continue with the peace process in South Asia, and especially in our maritime security. So the name of that exercise also shows the Pakistan's will to stand firm with the peace strategy in the region. So as the realities are changing in the world, Pakistan is also shifting from the in the foreign policy context, and Pakistan is more focused on sustainable development, and also Pakistan is very much focused on the issues related to our energy sector, issues related to our economy, and is more focused on the economic new opportunities. And Pakistan is prioritizing its foreign policy, as previously Pakistan's foreign policy was very much focused on the security issues. Security issues are important, as previously they were important, but the in the global politics, economy is taking lot of focus. So since last 2 years, last 3 years, Pakistan is changing its priorities in the foreign policy from defense to the economy. And now I think with the new leadership in the global politics, they are bringing new challenges and they are bringing new realities. So I hope that our leadership will take good decisions in accordance with the situation emerging from some powerful countries.
Right, especially taking into account its, let's say, important but at the same time quite challengeable geographical location of Pakistan. You slightly mentioned the dispute Jammu and Kashmir, and it's not the first decade when the international community is paying attention to what's happening here in the region, and it's more about the humanity, it's about political side, it's about economic perspectives of the region. Therefore, how do you see the situation today, if there are some changes observed, and what about the perspectives for the peaceful resolution of that dispute in the near future?
If you look through the history, Pakistan always supported the solution of Jammu and Kashmir according to the resolutions of United Nations Security Council. So first it was India who took the issue of Jammu and Kashmir into the United Nations. And the first Prime Minister of India so honorably promised the resolution of Jammu and Kashmir according to the wish and will of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And they were agreed upon multilateral solution of the issue. So that's why they themselves chosen the platform of United Nations. And Pakistan agreed upon that, okay, we will follow the international rules and international law. But later on, after 2 years, they changed their mind and they started taking unilateral decisions on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir since 1950 and 1951. So Pakistan always supported multilateral resolution of the country under the observation of the United Nations and other international forces. So they promised, the first Indian Prime Minister promised plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir. And since 1948 resolutions passed, they did not follow their own promises. And even today, Pakistan, what the Pakistani leadership, Pakistani Foreign Office, and our academia here and the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they are committed with the same process that we don't seek war, or we don't want any kind of conflict in the region, because if you see, it is a nuclear flashpoint between very influential nuclear powers, like on one side it is Pakistan, and on the other side it is India, and our neighboring country is China, and on the just one country behind the China is Russia. So this region is quite fragile in the context of this nuclear installments. So Kashmir is quite sensitive for that. So Pakistan always take position on the resolution of Jammu and Kashmir issue accordance with the resolutions of United Nations Security Council. So it is India who is always refraining from its own promises. So I think distrust on the international system is emerging more and more every day. And one of the issues which do not give people a good hope with the international system is the issue of Kashmir, as it is very very long outstanding issues pending in the United Nations. So what international community and what the United Nations itself have to realize is that the suppression should be stopped in India, and they are doing a lot of demographic changes, so which is also against the international law, against the international treaties.
Well, and one more question, if I may. You are quite well experienced about the situation in our region, in the South Caucasus, and you had a chance to travel to the region to see, to know more about the post-conflict developments. And today, one of the key questions is whether two countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan, are getting closer to peace agreement, or there's still some moments to be confirmed, clarified, described, and accepted by the first or the second side. Therefore, what is your understanding of the current development and the perspectives for the peace?
The first thing is, if you look since the beginning of the conflict, Azerbaijan always behaved very calmly and avoid the conflict and avoid the battle. And it was Armenia who was doing lot of aggressive actions in the region, and especially in the Karabakh region. And it was very difficult for Azerbaijan to tolerate all these things. But I congratulate the leadership that most of the time they tried to avoid the conflict and they tried to resolve it according to the international law. But one thing which is very important is which I have met with some of the ex-diplomats of Azerbaijan, with many of the think tank experts in Azerbaijan, with the professors of international relations, and with some of the political leadership, and they are committed to continue with the peace process in the region. But what I can assume and I can assess through their statements and through their analysis, but what I can feel through the Armenian side as a country, I think the seventh country in the world spending their huge money and budget in comparison with their GDP on the defense. So that shows, I mean, their more interest in increasing some more conflicts with some other excuses. So what?
And there are some countries who openly support.
Who openly support.
And
who
sending
openly
military equipment.
Actually, they are playing with their victimness, and they are selling their weapons to them. And Armenia has to realize that their so-called friends, they are not sincere with Armenia. Actually, they are more sincere with selling their own weapons to the Armenia, which they find Armenia easy customer of their very unreliable weaponry. Like from South Asia, a lot of weapons are going there, and there are a lot of questions in international media on Akash system and on many other Indian made systems, that whether they are reliable or not. So Armenia is investing huge money in the weapons. So by their ambitions, it doesn't sound good, that whether it will be good for their peace process or not. But as I can see or analyze through the Azerbaijani side, and their statements and their seriousness in development of infrastructure, in development of the economy, and if you look at all the major projects in Azerbaijan, that shows that the major part of their annual budget is being spent in the infrastructure, in the education, in the health center, in the progress, in the development of the country. And other side, major money is being spent in the defense and in the weapon purchase. So these are two different mentalities. So one is very progressive and the other is aggressive. So I'm quite sure that Azerbaijan will continue their efforts with bringing peace in the region.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your participation in our today's edition.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
honor.
Just to remind dear viewers, today we have a special edition of Inside Politics here in Islamabad, Pakistan. Our expert, His Excellency Sahibzada Sultan Ahmed Ali Sahib, Chairman, Muslim Institute. My name is Anastasia Lavrina. Do stay with A News and see you in the next edition.